The Bitter Side is Sweet, Chapter 10. For a moment, I can't process what I see, can't understand what's happened. I hear a gasp and feel the weight of the air shift beside me as Khadijah falls to her knees next to Sadhu. She reaches out and touches his face lightly. "Oh, Sadhu," I hear her whisper. "What did they do to you?" I want to scream at her. What do you think they did to him? Don't you have eyes? There's only a rag-wrapped stump of his arm left past his elbow. You can see what they did to him. But I don't, because some part of me realizes that screaming would be ridiculous. She wasn't here with him all day. She was with me. Sadhu pulls out of my arms and crumples to the ground. I let him go, spinning to face Musa, who hasn't moved. My wrist jerks when I do, and I hear Khadijah's hiss of breath when my action pulls her onto her feet behind me, but I don't even care. "What did you do to him?" I shout. A small part of my brain registers that the only words that make it out of my mouth are almost the exact ones that Khadijah used just moments before, but I can't seem to come up with any others, so I use hers and let my volume speak my anger. Musa glares at me. "What needed to be done?" he says. His voice is tired and annoyed. You, you, you took his arm," I want to say, but the words catch somewhere in my chest and won't come out. "It had to be done, Amadou." Musa's still talking in that quiet, "I'm the elder here" voice, and hatred for him washes all over my skin, burning like spilled pesticide. His wound was festering. He didn't have another day in him. If I had left his arm on, you'd be coming home to a corpse. An acid feeling twists inside me. The gratitude he's trying to make me feel mixes with my rage, creating poison in my belly. "You cut off his arm!" I finally scream, the words breaking out of me, tearing big holes in my soul as they do. Musa stares at me as if I'd lost my wits. "Of course I did. What did you think I was going to do when I told you this morning I would take care of it?" And then I can't help myself. I curl my hand into a fist and punch Musa in the face with all the strength I have. Of course, after a stunned moment of cursing and grabbing his bleeding nose, Musa does the same to me repeatedly and then tosses me again into the tool shed, the evening resting place for all problem children, locking it behind me. I lean over in the corner with my head tipped forward so I'm not choking on the blood from my nose and spit until it clots. I lift my hands to my face to wipe off the mess, and it's only when my left wrist jingles as I do so that I realize Khadijah is still chained to me. "Why are you here?" I manage, my words muddy because of my plugged nose. "Because I'm still attached to you, silly," she says. I look at her sideways. "Apparently this time it's my fault for not stopping you." She gives a half smile. And I don't know why, but for some reason this strikes me as the funniest thing I've heard in weeks, and I start laughing. Deep, belly-clenching laughs that make me bend double and force tears out of my eyes. Khadijah seems surprised at first, but then she laughs softly along with me. "It's really not that funny, you know," she says after a while. I huff some air through my nose to clear it. "Yeah, I know." For a while the two of us just sit there, our backs along the wall of the shed, our chained hands resting on the floor between us, listening to the sounds of dinner and cleanup happening outside. No one opens the door to give us any food, but I wasn't really expecting them to. As the shadows deepen, Khadijah's eyes begin to dart around the shed, and she picks at a tear in her skirt, making it worse. "They sound extra busy tonight," I say, to get her mind off the thing she's thinking about. Her hands still. I tip my head to the side and listen for a moment, trying to identify the chores being done. Sounds like they're collecting the seeds from the drying racks and filling burlaps. The pasteur is due tomorrow. "You know, I never thought you'd hit him." For a moment I'm confused because I've never hit a pasteur, and I'm pretty sure that this soft little kid has never met one in her life. But then I realize Khadijah's changed the subject and is talking about Musa. I pick at the dried blood on my face until it flakes off under my fingernails. I don't know what to say. I never thought I'd hit Musa either. Since disrespect is treated harshly, I always figured a physical attack would be the same as committing suicide. I rub my face again. Really, for what I did, Musa didn't hurt me very much at all. He must be feeling bad. He cut off Sadhu's arm, I say. The image of the firelight flickering off Sadhu's upper left arm and then being swallowed by the bloody bandage below his elbow assaults me as I say it. That's all we say until after the sounds from outside stop and we hear them lock the sleeping hut door. The rev of the truck engine fades, telling me that the bosses have gone home for the night too. Beside me, the tension goes out of the chain. With the departure of the bosses, Khadijah has relaxed again. But I tense up. Though I wasn't expecting the door to open for food, I was expecting them to put my brother in with us for the night so I could look after him. His absence is like a physical pain, a lack where there should be feeling. Who will hold him if he cries? How will I know if he makes it through the night? He'll be fine, says Khadijah. I wonder how much of what I was thinking I muttered out loud. How do I know if I can't see him? The others seem to like him. He's such a nice little boy. My cricket. But how do I know? I ask again. A pause. You don't. For tonight, you'll just have to trust that they'll do the right thing, I guess. It's not like you have much of a choice. And if you spend all night worrying, you'll drive yourself crazy, and you won't get enough sleep to be able to help him tomorrow, if he needs you. It's good advice, but hard to swallow. I'm haunted by images of Sadhu, the way he was the last 2 nights, tossing around in pain. But I force myself to remember Yusuf's soft apology and take a deep breath. You're right, I say. He will need me tomorrow. Of course he will, she says soothingly, but I shake my head. No, I say, my voice hard. Not like that. I've been trying to take care of Sadhu in little ways for years, and clearly today showed that it's not enough. Now it's time to take care of him in a big way. Because when I really think about it, Khadijah was right all along. Living here is nothing more than killing Sadhu slowly. I turn to her. He's going to need me tomorrow because I'm going to get him away from here. We're getting off this farm. There's a brief second of complete silence. It's not that easy, and you know it, she says bitterly. I know, I say, but what makes it different this time? A couple of things. I smile into the darkness. For one, I finally understood that I have nothing to lose by running. My voice falters. It's hard to work here. I don't think that, even if he gets better, Sadhu's going to survive very long with just one arm. Beside me, I feel Khadijah shiver. For another thing, I know a lot more about how the farm works than when I was new. Plus, I have you to help me. I say it half as a joke because really, what can a weak 13-year-old girl do to help me? But Khadijah takes me seriously. Me? You're crazy. 3 are so much easier to catch than 1. No thank you, Amadou. The next time I run, I'm going to make it. When I run alone. It was a joke, I say coldly, masking my disappointment. I wouldn't expect help from someone as selfish as you. I turn away from her and try to think. Slowly, I feel a giddy excitement building in me, so different from the empty place I've put myself into for the past 2 years that it feels odd, like stretching old muscles that haven't done a certain job in a long time, and finding out that they still work, still remember what to do. One way or another, I say, holding up our chained wrists, whether you're coming with us or not, the first thing we need to do is get this off. Oh, she agrees. Her tone is off, but I don't have time to care. Let's see what we can find in the shed to help us. And so we shuffle around the small space in the dark, on our hands and knees, using our fingers to try to figure out what everything is. Machetes, I report. Rope, she replies. A box. I'm trying to figure out a way to open the latch when Khadijah gives her next update. Metal barrel. Don't touch that. At the end of the chain, I feel her recoil. Why? She asks. What is it? Poison. I remember when I was first here, it was one of the 2 months of the year when we weren't harvesting. Instead, it was cleaning season, the time of year when the main job for the boys is to take pump cans of pesticide and spray the trunks and branches of all the trees in the grove. Musa had brought me into the shed and showed me the great 150-liter drums of pesticide. These, he had said, are poison. They are a very special kind of poison, one that kills the insects that would eat my trees. But you should never forget for 1 minute what you're carrying. Don't drink it. Don't let it get in your food. Don't let it get near fire. Don't touch it and then rub your eyes. Do you understand? And I had said, yes, I understand. And as soon as we got into the grove, I had strapped both canisters on and made Stadu stand far away from where I was working. And I tried not to show him my fear as the poison mist settled onto my skin. Pesticide, I clarify, for the trees. It kills the bugs, but it's bad for you too. Don't touch it. I feel her carefully put distance between herself and the drums, so I know she's taking me seriously. Come look in this box. When we pry the lid open with machete, what we find inside makes the whole night of searching worthwhile. Because inside are tools, real tools, strong tools, screwdrivers and hammers and clippers. I look at the dark form in front of me that must be Khadijah, and a smile splits my face. We're free, I say. It's too dark to tell for sure, but I think she smiles back.